I love it when I get to take a basic old bathroom and transform it into a really nice modern bathroom that makes my client real happy. When I arrived, this is what the master bathroom looked like, with its really unusual freestanding tub being used as a tub shower with an old school shower curtain circle or oval, and the most dangerous reach to the shower valve if you think about having soapy, slippery bathtub, which clearly whoever did this didn't think about slipping. This is the new bathroom remodel, but what did it take to get here? How much did the customer pay the contractor? What materials was the customer responsible for purchasing on their own and having delivered? The estimate for the bathroom model was $24,987.46, plus the customer purchased all of the tile materials from Floor Decor, such as the tile, grout, and thin-set mortar. Then they bought the new tub valve, the tub, the vanity, 2 sink faucets, a lighted mirror, and a few accessories. And don't forget that we found the ceramic tile underneath the laminate flooring, so that was a surprise of another $625 to demo and haul that off. So what is the grand total? The grand total was approximately $32,134.10. My estimate for labor and my materials was $24,984.64, and the customer spent about $7,150.09 on the materials they selected. After I met with the homeowners, I drew up a floor plan to scale and the elevation for the tub shower wall so my clients could get a feel for what this would look like. After I got the plans drawn, I did the estimate, met with the client, went over all of the details and what I knew about the project so far. And then I came in on the first day to remove the old tub faucet, floating shelves, vanity, vinyl plank floor, and unfortunately I discovered that the previous homeowner had covered up the old tile floor instead of removing it, so now I had some extra work on my hands. I notified the customer that I found ceramic floor tile under their vinyl plank floor and got started on chipping up the floor tile with a Bosch chipping hammer with the shop vac hose attached to help collect the fine dust in the air. I estimated the tile demo, thin set removal, and grinding the concrete would cost $625 for the 91 square feet. But as you might guess, there was another surprise because there was some glue residue from some other previous flooring that I had to scrape up, so that was another 3 hours of labor that I don't think I'd charge the customer for. Just kind of felt bad. Once the floor tile demo was completed, it was time to start removing the wall tile behind the old tub. I cut through the tile and drywall and removed it in as big of pieces as I could carry out. During the wall tile demo, I discovered a window that was covered over, and it certainly wasn't in the new plan, so to make it look good from the outside, I cleaned the glass with the natured alcohol, masked off the frame, and painted it with a Krylon Fusion matte black, which is formulated to be applied to glass. Later on, I insulated that wall and window space as normal before I covered it up again. When all the demo work was done, I went to the local dump, which usually takes 2 to 2.5 hours round trip from my office, including the time at the dump. The dump fees are at least $125 and change, and my labor and fuel, which is usually about 4 gallons. And I know for sure that will cover a truck bed load and sometimes a little bit more. It's a little tough to figure out exactly what the dump is going to charge, but it doesn't seem to be too much more for a little extra weight. If you like the type of content with pricing, leave a like on this video to let me know, and I'll make more of it for you. In this bathroom, there was originally a shower on this side over here and a tub over where I'm standing right now. Of course, when I started this project, the client had a big freestanding tub directly in the center of the room, and now the client wants to swap where the shower once was to where they want it to be nowadays. So of course this means that I need to jackhammer the concrete, excavate some soil, and expose the drain pipes so I can relocate the drain pipes for the new tub and shower location. Jackhammering concrete can be really slow or reasonably fast for a variety of reasons. Sometimes you'll guess how the original plumber ran the pipes correctly, and sometimes you'll be surprised that it comes from 2 different locations. After finding the shower drain in that right corner, I'm extending the 2-inch PVC drain pipe to the new shower drain location and installing a new trap and drain opening. Let's see how that is. And I did the same procedure with the new tub drain location, but but of course with a different tub drain pipe receptacle fitting. And then I can backfill the soil and patch up the holes in the concrete slab. With the drain piping done, I'll frame a new shower curb out of 3 2x4s. The bottom 2x4 is pressure treated wood for contact with the concrete, but if you have like a wood framed house with a wood subfloor, whether that's first or second story, if you have a wood subfloor, then you can just do regular 2x4s. Now I will start to install the Hardie Backer cement board sheets. Each sheet will get installed with 1 5/8 backer on screws spaced about 8 inches apart. With this shower, I installed the first 2 sheets on the walls and the 2 skinny pieces on the inside of the curb so I could get to floating the pre-sloped mortar bed. So that way it had more dry time to stay on schedule with my tile guy. I'm cutting the Hardie Backer cement board for the shower walls. This process creates a lot of dust, so don't do it inside the garage or the house. You want to take the Hardie Backer outside to where you can cut it and let the wind blow the dust away. And of course, remember to wear some sort of eye protection and breathing protection, for your lungs. Each piece of Hardie Backer is secured with 1 5/8 Hardie Backer screws about 8 inches apart. So I usually just use a pinky to thumb tip because it's 8 3/4 inch, and that's close enough to be like 8 inches every single spacing. I wouldn't want to see anybody actually break out a tape measure. Although it would be nice if Hardie Backer had a grid pattern, like some sort of printed design on the 1/2 inch Hardie Backer, like they have an embossed design on their 1/4 inch Hardie Backer, but apparently they decided not to do anything like that. The mortar bed gets sloped at 1/4 inch per foot towards the drain and consists of dry packed mortar. Dry packed mortar is really just regular mortar powder mixed with a minimal amount of water, so you can float a simple slope and it'll still stick together. I try to time the mortar bed to be done at the end of the day, and while the mortar bed dries for 24 to 72 hours, I'll get back to installing the rest of the Hardie Backer on the walls. So as you can see, I installed the new shower valve for the client here. They already had some PEX lines coming up and some shut-off valves, so that was super convenient. And then I always like to put my shower head pipe here at 6'9", so by the time the pipe comes out, it goes down about 5 inches. It still clears the top of my head. I'll get back to installing the rest of the Hardie Backer on the walls, up to somewhere above the shower head or possibly up to the top of the ceiling, and finish wrapping the shower curb with Hardie Backer. And that means like the top side and the outside. The next step is to start waterproofing the shower pan. I use the Laticrete Hydraband sheet membrane assembly. Hydraband sheet membrane is similar to Schluter, where it's a sheet membrane instead of a paint-on waterproofing, where you'd have to wonder if the installer applied the product to the correct mill thickness. When it comes to the Hydraband sheet membrane, I like to use the Laticrete Multimax Light. It's like using a melted marshmallow. It's super smooth and creamy, no sand bits in it, so it is very, very sticky. Don't get this, on your clothes and your hands, because it'll be stuck there for longer than you like, especially if you don't wipe it off while it's wet. I'm rolling out the sheet membrane along the wall to measure how much I need for that row, and I continue using Multimax light on the Hardie Backer surface with a 5/32 by 3/16 inch V-notch trowel. Don't use anything more than a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch V-notch or 3/16 by 1/4, something like that. It's just way too much mortar. I'm applying the Hydroband sheet membrane in a continuous roll across the wall and onto the next wall on the right side. And I've been using a small rafter square to push the thin set out because it has a softer, rounder edges. And of course, if you need to use a 6-inch drywall knife, by all means, do what you need. I'm just trying to protect basically the liner material and not accidentally poke anything. And push the thin set under the membrane around towards the edge to even out the surface. It's kind of like using a rolling pin with dough. You still want to leave a thin layer under the liner. Now repeat this process for the second and third row up. I like to install all of the pieces to where the lower piece is overlapped by the piece above it ideally, just in case there's an issue someday. If you notice, I'm wrapping the sheet membrane from one wall continuously onto the next wall so there is not a possible leak point at a seam in the corner, and each row above will overlap the one below. If you like the type of content with pricing, leave a like on this video to let me know, and I'll make more of it for you. Do it. Oh, always a comedian. Every shower pan gets a shower pan test for a minimum of 24 hours regardless of getting a permit, because I'm also a former inspector. Anytime you do a shower pan test, you should definitely keep an eye on it for the first few hours, and then that way, if there is any major issues, you'll obviously catch it, and if not, then I guess you'll see it tomorrow sometime when you come back and check the water level depth and any signs of moisture. The water level should remain the same, minus any evaporation that may have occurred over the 24 hours. In this video, you'll see Edgar tiling a corner shower, a 12 by 24 shampoo niche, and the shower floor tile. Every tile is installed with Versabond LFT white thin set mortar made by Custom Building Products and 1/16 level clips and wedges. Edgar is using a bag of planning patch to float the transition between the 1/2 inch drywall to the right and to the 7/16 Hardie Backer first. And then he realized the wall studs had a curve going up due to a hump where some plumbing nail plate protection is at. So he floated the wall with some more planty patch, which sets up quickly so he can get back to tiling. Edgar used a piece of 1/2-inch Hardie Backer as a spacer on the shower floor to elevate the wall tile, and used a laser level to ensure everything stays perfectly level. When setting tile, you'll want to have the thin set wet enough so you can wiggle the tile and collapse the thin set notch peaks. A 1/2-inch by 1/2-inch trowel should give you about 1/8 inch thick bed of thin set under the tile. We marked out where the joints would be for the 1/3 offset subway tile to get an idea if there was going to be any tiles that weren't going to look good. Make sure to back butter each tile to help ensure 95% thin set coverage with the notched mortar on the walls. You should scrape the inside of the bucket around your trowel to help prevent any unnecessary buildup of thin set mortar and make an effort to keep your work area clean.
Yeah.
After the tile has been installed on the first wall for a day, the tile wedges and clips are whacked off with a rubber mallet, and the tile work continues on the second wall. After the wall tile is set, Edgar will install the floor tiles. Some installers will do this first and some will do it last. It just depends on how good the tile installer is at measuring and cutting and the type of tile to be installed. The shower drain will get adjusted to be parallel with a wall, and then check to make sure the height is correct for the tile thickness. Now usually Edgar likes to set the tile drain about 1/32 of an inch less than the actual tile itself, so that way when you apply the grout in between all of the joints, the grout is actually flush with the shower drain, so that way you don't have any puddling. Edgar will cut and lay all the tile on the shower floor first to make sure everything fits right before using any thin set mortar to adhere it. And that's why when he is ready to install the tile, the thin set mortar stays wet long enough to bond to all of the tiles. It just makes it easier to install this way. Hey, what's up? The remodeling boss here, huh? Well, anytime you've hired a tile guy to set some tile, you need to be checking on them throughout the day, like at every tile row or phase and all this stuff. So I think I see a little bit of a crooked drain here, so I'm just checking real quick. I got 22.5 on one corner, and ooh, it is 22.5. Okay. You know, I think it's all basically perfect. Don't touch it, right? Don't touch it. Uh-oh, he's coming back, I better run. Once the shower floor tile is set in place, all of the tile will get tamped down for a better bond. This is a good time to double check the spacing of all the small tiles and put spacers as needed to ensure you have that continuous, like 1/16 grout joint everywhere. Because as you're moving tiles around, pushing and tamping, you always want to go back and double check, triple check your tile work and make sure that you haven't overlooked anything. Now for the shower curb, all of the curb was pre-sloped and then waterproof. So if any water were to get through a cracked joint, water should run off into the shower pan. The tile on the curb is also sloped 1/4 inch per foot and no more than 1/2 inch per foot towards the shower drain. Once all the tile is installed in this bath, Edgar grouted all the tile in the shower, the tile wall behind the tub, and of course the master bathroom floor. When all the shower tile has been completed, the shower glass company will come out to measure, and about 2 to 3 weeks later the custom frameless shower glass gets installed. Then Edgar started tiling the bathroom floor. If you notice the dark red chalk lines behind him, we laid out the room so we knew where all the tile rows were going to be and then adjusted it a little bit so everything would look better, and check every few rows to see that the floor is remaining flat with that level. This tile is being drilled with a 4-inch diamond hole saw meant for tile for the bathtub drain hole. Edgar is drilling and I'm squeezing water on the tile to keep the hole saw lubricated and cool. One of the ways that I figured out how to keep the hole saw that doesn't have a pilot bit from, wandering around the tile was to basically pin it in with 4 sides of porcelain tiles and then using clamps. So that way we kind of boxed in the diamond hole saw. Edgar went on to tile the rest of the bathroom floor. The next morning he knocked out all the wedges and spacers, cleaned the floor, and then grouted the whole floor. This is what the new 12-inch by 24-inch porcelain tile floor looks like with the grout. You are going to be rolling your tub over to the side. On its side, you should be putting down a louver's blanket just like this here. Maybe a slightly different color. And then, so then I'm going to take this tub and roll it over carefully onto its side. Well, it was finally time to set the tub in place, but first I had to connect the brass drain tailpipe and remove the red plug on the floor drain. Now when you buy your tub drain kit, it's going to come with both the part that goes into the subfloor or the concrete slab, and it's got this brass tailpiece here. And the special thing about this brass tailpiece is it's got this rounded edge on here. It's basically, and then of course you got all the parts that, you know, thread on as well. So before we put this on, I'm going to be taking my Teflon tape here and the T+2 Teflon thread sealant here. So you can see the threads over here, all of this chrome pipe here, it's already been set in by the manufacturer, and there's sealant around the perimeter. I had two awesome helpers who took a few minutes out of their day to help me lower the tub and the drain pipe into the drain hole accurately. When I was installing the new tub valve, I made sure that it was at least the height of the tub plus the drain tailpipe so I could slip the tub under the tub valve and handles and then lower it down. So then I was ready to install the handles and spout for the tub and test the tub by filling it up full of water and making sure the tub drain connection didn't leak from the manufacturer. When it comes to the shower glass crew came in. There was 3 guys for this big corner shower to help carry the glass, hold things, tape everything, you know, caulk it, all of that stuff. And I've been using them for a few years, so they seem to be doing great on all the showers so far. I used a couple of 4-wheel furniture dollies to move the new vanity from the entry into the master bathroom, secured it to the wall, and started installing the 2 sink faucets. The 2 sink faucets are Moen Gibson matte black, and they cost about $299 each, plus around $175 per faucet to install the faucet and connect the drain pipes. The mirror is one of these lighted mirrors, and of course there's a 120 volt outlet behind the mirror, and with the mirror you can press to turn on the lights, change the color temperature from cool white, warm white, blue color, and so on. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video of this complete master bath remodel.